Hello, welcome to Odd Paintings. I'm Dewan Moore, and as always, I'll be taking you through the process of going from a blank piece of paper to a finished acrylic painting, all about weird, funny, dark, strange, odd, surreal painting. Today's painting is going to be about something I encountered at the weekend. So I hope you enjoy. If you do enjoy the videos, give them a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll do some more videos to you. Okay, sit back and enjoy the process. Okay, so I had decided that it's about time I did a female in one of these pieces, but trying to think of what exactly to do proved a bit more of a challenge than I thought it was going to. But I was out one night and I noticed a weird thing with the people in the pubs and clubs that I was at. They were all seeming to be looking for love and also simultaneously trying to dodge it. So in my beer-addled mind, an idea came, and I like this idea that Cupid is kind of bored of just shooting arrows at the right people, so now just fires them willy-nilly at anybody. And so I like this idea of this young woman trying to dodge the arrows of Cupid, which is what I was working on. So same as always, shape is very, very important when I'm doing this, so I try and get an interesting pose for the figure. In the drawing I'm fairly happy with it. I think I probably should have spent longer on the face. It caused me a few problems with the painting later on, but on the whole I was relatively happy with the drawing. As a preliminary piece, for a painting, it's perfectly fine. So I wasn't, this isn't an exhibition quality drawing or anything like that. It's just me solving some problems before I go into painting. So quite conceptual. So little on the back, little to no background, only really a colour or a mood. That's what I was thinking. It's all about the figure and the arrows, and there's the finished drawing right there. Enough to work on anyway for the painting. Okay, same as always. Transferred it to the MDF. Covered it in burnt sienna to find my values, sort of try and solve as many problems as I can before I get to working with more opaque colours. Not really a whole lot to say about this. I mean, I quite enjoy these single session paintings. It's less about well, I suppose, I am looking for a quality piece of artwork, but I'm more interested in exploring an idea or trying to get a mood across in this, and because they're not for clients, they're just really for me. I can kind of take a few chances and go a bit crazy, which I do in this piece, and I still can't decide whether it's worked or not. You'll notice when I transferred the drawing I changed her hand. That proved to be a big mistake. I think if it was a male character the fist might have worked, but for the female character here I'm not sure it works with the theme of the piece. But anyway, I carried on anyway. Same as always, working backwards to forwards, so putting the background in first. I knew I wanted quite a warm character, so I was working on the idea to begin with of having quite a cool background in that blue. I very quickly changed my mind and decided to add some pink. I wanted it to be this sort of hazy summer, springtime when love is everywhere and Cupid's arrows are raining down on everybody. And I think for the longest time I felt the background was a bit too clean, a bit too bright, and it was bothering me for a while. So you'll see I'll fix that in a little while. I am, as always in too much of a hurry. I'm my own worst enemy with this stuff. I am desperate to get to painting that figure, so I rush the background a little bit and I start working on the face. Little tip when you're painting ladies' faces is don't go in with too many dark blues or anything like that, which is something I tend to use for shadows on faces. If you're not careful, you can look like you've given her a 5 o'clock shadow. So be a little careful. That builds your tones up gradually, or at least that's what I do, and it seems to work. Hair, a lot of people ask me how I paint hair. I don't know, I've never really found it that too difficult. I build volume through having dark at the roots and dark at the tips, and sort of make it light in the middle where the light sort of hits that sort of shiny bit of the hair. It works quite well in this one. So painting this lady is quite relaxing, really. I'm not having to worry too much. Once I've got the face sorted, I feel fairly confident to get on with the rest of it. A lot of people ask me why my characters are always wearing shirts or office attire, which this young lady is, and the only answer I can ever really think of is that it creates a timelessness to it. If you think of a shirt and tie or a shirt and a skirt like this, people have worn them for decades, so it doesn't necessarily date them, whereas I think if I put them in contemporary clothes, it would be quite telling that I'm always very wary of seeing pictures from the 70s and 80s and even 90s now, and how dated things look. And I remember at the time, particularly in the 90s, not thinking this would ever date at all. So I think that's a good enough reason for now on why I do it. So I will keep my mouth shut and let you enjoy the painting a little more. So with any cloth, how much I enjoy painting cloth, so I just build it up gradually from dark to light. Get those creases in there. And yeah, I spent a fair bit of time on this figure. Quite enjoyed painting her, even though afterwards that fist would really annoy me, so I have to go back and fix it. Which is part of the joy of acrylic paint, is in it's once it's dry you can just go over the top of it. As long as you've not left huge ridges of paint, it's quite easy to fix. And again, once that face is dried, I go in with some highlights to make her stand out a little more. I do decide she's starting to get a bit pale, and I'm also sort of at this point trying to figure out how I'm going to make those arrows stand out. Initially I thought I'd just have them as white, almost white silhouettes of arrows, but I decided I needed something more, so I sort of go in and I surround them with like a pink kind of fire. You can see I finally bought some yellow paint for a bracelet there, and there's that pink fire. And there's the rest of them. I didn't think you want to see that. So I decided it was all getting a bit cold, and like I said, her face was getting a bit pale, and I had an idea for those arrows. And I also wanted to correct the horrific mistakes I made in the Robin painting with a wash by using a wash properly this time. And this time I waited for it to dry, and now I can go in and I can really make those arrows stand out. And a little trick with having the now orangey cream colour underneath, I can make the little flights in the arrows really kind of pop out a little bit, so they become a bit more interesting. And I think that's what's nice about these sort of paintings, is you can take those chances because it's not for anybody, it's just for me, and like I said in the other video, as long as you finish a painting and then decide whether it's any good, I think you're good to go. And that's really how I think about doing these sort of small quick paintings. Just so you know, the drawing was around 15 minutes and the painting was just shy of 3 hours. And I put my signature on and I realised I haven't added a rim light. If I had £1 for every time I'd put my signature on it and realised it's not finished, I'd be a very rich man.
So yeah, I just went back and did all that. I also did something I don't normally do with these paintings, as in I finished this and I went to have my tea, and I had it on the side and I was staring at it. I was thinking, oh, what's bugging me about this? And that hand was really annoying me. And I looked at the drawing and I thought, yeah, that pose works with an open hand, not so much with a closed hand. So I decided I'm going to change it. So when it was dry, I just went in and redrew the hand, tweaked the shirt underneath it. It's not the greatest hand I've ever painted, but I'm happier with it than I was with the closed fist. And yeah, overall I think it worked quite well. I added a few little minor details to the shirt, changed some of the lighting on it a little, added a few stray hairs around her head, but you know, otherwise, you know, quite a nice little exercise. Is it the greatest painting I've ever painted? No. Was I intended it to be? Probably not. But you know, not bad for an afternoon. You know, I should also point out, before starting these YouTube videos, I hadn't really painted traditionally for about 2 years. All my work's been digital, you know, with freelance work and teaching and stuff like that. So it's nice to get back to traditional media. And I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video. And there's the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed painting it. Cheers.
Okay, and there you have it. There's the finished painting. I do hope you enjoyed that. If you do, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to share it to anyone else who might be interested with it. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy, folks.